Now, as you know, every time we come to a reserve like this, we've put our cameras all over it so we can see the nests. But this year we've also got these, and these are wildlife microphones. Haven't been put out by us, they've been put out by Geoff Carss from Wilder Sensing. And if we look at our map here, this is the map of RSPB Arne. We're about here, and you can see the various different nests, your oystercatcher, dartwood warbler, Sid the blue tit living his best life in the forest.
All right, the goshawks down here.
Kestrel owl. And then you've got, in lots of different habitats, you've got all of these microphones. And they've been picking up the sounds of birds, particularly in different dawn choruses. And they've picked up some really fabulous sounds. Have a listen to this.
Quite blissful, wasn't it? Quite therapeutic, actually, listening to that.
Like a mindful moment in the middle of the show. It was rather lovely.
Was. But those microphones were out for 46 days. They recorded for 7,000 hours, and they recorded no less than 436,000 calls of 89 species. That is a tremendous amount of data. Far too much data for any human ears to trawl through. So, software from Cornell Lab in the United States was used under license to analyse all of that. And the first thing that we can learn by crunching all of that data through that AI software is presence or absence. Which birds are there and which birds are not. And here is a diagram showing the proportional number of calls, not necessarily birds, but calls that were recorded. So you can see the greatest number of calls recorded on all of this data came from chiffchaffs there at the top left. And then second up was oystercatcher, very noisy vocal bird, lots of shoreline here, perhaps not surprising, and then we work through goldfinch, greenfinch, so on and so forth, until you get down to others at 9%. So this is quite a useful tool. It tells you which birds are there, or which birds are calling most frequently. But of course it can also tell you when they are calling, and then you can contrast when they're calling in different habitats, and we can do that now. So we've got a graph here, well, a pie diagram sort of thing, that is, and I do mean sort of thing as well, that represents woodland, and another one over here for heathland. And we're going to look at that dawn chorus. So at 3 in the morning, the woodland is silent. It's darker in the woodland than it is on the heathland. But over in the heathland, look, we've got a spike of calling already coming from the robin. If we roll this forward, we go forward here, we see that by 4 o'clock we've got activity in the woodland, and it is the song thrush here and the wren which have started up. And look, by 5 o'clock the wren is reaching a crescendo. What's happening at the same time on the heathland?
4 o'clock the robin is really singing its little heart out, and then we go to 5 and the goldfinch has taken over. The robin is completely dropped off.
And these are proportional, so the higher you can see here, the greater proportion of those birds by some significant margin. OK, Mick, let's move through to late morning towards lunchtime.
What time do you want?
OK, let's say sort of it's 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
11 o'clock, 11, 12, OK.
So here in the woodland, the wren is still dominating the sound. You know what it is, it's the little bird with the big voice, and it's still pumping it out at midday here. Underneath that, we've got the chiffchaff, which is making an appearance here, and right at the bottom is the song thrush. Mick?
So different in the heathland. Here, we've got the top one is the goldfinch. Robin still dropped off a bit. greenfinch has started to sing a lot, and the stonechat has started to join in as well.
Has, but look, roll it on a little bit, because the stonechat takes an afternoon nap. It pipes down a little bit. OK, let's go to the evening. Just how do things wrap up?
Where do you want to go to?
Well, probably to about sort of 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock?
So 8 o'clock in the woodland, OK, robin here and song thrush. Well, that's what we experience in our gardens, in urban areas. These two birds are really punching out at that time of the evening, so that's typical of the woodland. Mick?
Well, the heathland, goldfinches, everything has begun to drop off quite a lot. Goldfinch has dropped off. Robin, however, I mean, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because if you go through, the robin is pretty constant.
OK.
Throughout the day.
Let's go to the end then.
Oh, but look, can I just say, look how much the
on.
greenfinch completely drops off at 8 o'clock.
Drops off at 8 o'clock. Let's go to 9 o'clock, because that's when silence returns to the woodland.
Big drop off there as well.
A big drop off there on the heathland. I guess the birds are tired at that point. So look, this is just a brief insight into some of the data that we can collect using this remarkable technology. And think of the benefits. Firstly, all of that data being collected remotely, not people out in the field, not volunteers with microphones, so on and so forth. And then the ability to crunch it and turn it into representational forms like this. But I mean, this is comfy yarn. This is easy. Imagine you could put this in the heart of sticky, horrible, insect-infested tropical rainforest, just leave it there for months and not have to go back. Equally Arctic environments. So when it comes to remote sensing, to monitor these birds so we better understand them and then conserve them, I'd invest. If I was in the Dragon's Den, I'd be in. I'm in.
It is incredible just how much data they can record at once, isn't it? I mean, listen to this, Chris, because obviously they can also be able to identify rare and unusual song. And this is one that they got. That's a wood warbler. It's a rare migratory bird. It's on the red list. Usually you'd find it mating in Wales, in temperate rainforests. So it was probably just flying through here. But again, great to know that it is just flying through.
We've got to say,
here.
no humans picked that up. Only these remote recording devices sensed that wood warbler. Everyone else missed it.
People are scared of AI, but when you can use it for something like this, it's revolutionary, isn't it?
It will be. It will be indeed.